Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I wanted to share some great news, a case study from our recent Facebook ads workshop. We had Jenny from Pop and Dangle who attended the workshop, set up her campaigns, and she's been doing some ongoing coaching with me to make sure that she knows what's happening with her ads and working through her e-commerce store as well. The good news is that we have done some further testing and changing in the campaigns, and I'm really pleased to say that she's gotten her first 5 sales that she's ever gotten through the website, all from her Facebook ads. What I wanted to walk you through was just how this worked and share some of the good news. I think it's really great to see that there's results coming in so quickly and just share that with the team as well. What I noticed is after our workshop, so Jenny had launched a lot of different campaigns, trying lots of different things, and the campaigns that we set up in the workshop never launched, which is a real shame. But it looks like she did go through and set up more campaigns later, which she ran for link clicks rather than website purchases. We did a coaching session and we talked about, hey, like you really want purchases, right? That is the aim of the game. So I would highly recommend focusing on that with your campaigns. So again, the aim of the game is whatever you want in your business, that's the objective to start with. Traffic is good once you've grown your brand and you've gotten sales coming through and you're starting to bring in some revenue. Traffic can be good to supplement that for people who might not be ready to buy from you right now, but would be interested in your brand and want to do some shopping. So start with purchases and then move on to traffic in future. So the new campaign has had $100 spent and has gotten in 5 purchases. It's gotten 190 clicks, whereas the other traffic campaigns were getting lots more clicks. They weren't getting any purchases through because they're optimizing for traffic. If we look at the other e-com kind of figures, we can see that we had about $463 that have come through from this campaign at a cost of $20 per purchase. That's a $4.29 return for every dollar spent on ads. Furthermore, that's about a 3% conversion rate from people clicking the link on the Facebook ads to then going and purchasing. So my advice to Jenny was, keep this going, keep it going. It's really fantastic to see the results coming in and you want to keep that going. Now, one thing we did talk about in our recent coaching session today was that I definitely think that getting some more creatives in place would be a good idea. Facebook has given all the budget to one ad in the campaign, and that is getting a majority of the sales and it's also getting a majority of the budget. So out of the $100 that's been spent, this campaign, this ad has gotten $94 out of the $100 spent in that campaign, and the others have had a measly $10 and $1. So I would say that running a split test against this would be a great idea. The way that you can run split tests is very simple. With your ad, you can select the ad that you want to test against, click the A/B test option, and Meta have a wizard that will walk you through how to test it and what you want to go through. So click on the Get Started. You can make a copy of this ad. You want to say what variable do you want to test. So you can choose if you want to split test audience, the creative, which is the ad, or placement. Placement, is it Instagram, Facebook, Reels, the feed, that type of thing. So I always say focus on creative because this is the fastest thing to see if it's the creative, if it's the offer that is the issue. So you can do that by setting that up. And then what it's going to finally ask before duplicating is, what is the winner? What is the metric that we would determine the winner with? If you're focused on sales, then cost per purchase would be a good key metric to focus your split test on. And I often recommend naming the creative test because there's a section in here where you can see all of your tests on Meta and they'll all be called creative test. So I would say offer testing or something along those lines and put a date or something in there so that you can see what it is in there. Once you have that ready, it'll ask, do you want to schedule this based on a time frame? And it looks like this is only going to go for 3 days and it's going to end early if a winner is found. I often expand that out to a week at minimum. So the 30th is a Wednesday. I'd go out to the following Wednesday and end test early if winner's found. I often just say, let it run. I want to see if it's going to end on that date. So just let it run to that day. Now it's not going to launch anything. What it's going to do is duplicate that. And then it's going to have a test ad set in the campaign that you need to then draft. So it's going to confirm all the details. You've got 3 ads in there. It's saying, look, there's issues because you need to go through and you need to make sure that all these issues are fixed. So go through and make sure that you've got a new ad that you would be happy to run with in order to run that test. So that is how you can set up a split test and check an ad versus an ad, because what Facebook will often do, I find, is it will just simply run, you got $100, it's going to go, okay, this ad seems to be working straight out the gate, let's give it 90% of the budget. And that's not ideally what you want. When you're first launching campaigns, you want to see, does this offer work better than this offer? Does this video work better than that image? And you want to have a bit more control so that it's set up 50-50. So that's where this comes in, and that's why this is helpful. When you do an A/B test, it basically goes, all right, both of these have the same budget. We're going to separate this so that the audience is not the same people that we're targeting. It's going to be splitting that audience in half. So if it's females 18 to 65, it's basically audience A, audience B. Let's run these to see, with the same budget, with the same number of reach impressions and all that, if this could work better. And then it's going to run that in order to see what works, and you'll be able to see the results. So that would be the next step that I'd recommend for this campaign. And I think that this is a really good example. I'm just going to delete this because it will stay in the draft here. But that's a really good example of a fantastic result early out the door. And it's great to see those results come through. Another thing that we worked on today in our coaching call, because we had a bit of extra time, was going through and setting up automations in Shopify. Automation emails is something that we help with a lot, and it's a huge benefit for business owners, especially if you don't have any emails in place. Automations mean that when a certain action happens, it's going to trigger emails in that flow. So if I could explain that a bit more, a good example would be abandoned cart emails. Now that only applies for e-commerce or people who sell online. That generally applies. Another one would be welcoming new subscribers who have signed up to a pop-up or a newsletter on your website, filled out a form, for example, and you're wanting to nurture them. What Jenny and I did today, she had already drafted emails, which was fantastic. We went through the automation flows. We talked about how to set this up and the timeframes, and then we went through and activated the automation and published all of the emails. So in this workflow, if somebody subscribes to email marketing from any channel, that could be a pop-up on her website, a newsletter, it could be somebody from the markets filling out a form or subscribing in person, it's going to start sending through these emails. So she's got 4 emails, welcome to Dangle Diaries, and then it's going to wait for 48 hours. The next email then would be sent, which is the heart behind Pop and Dangle. 48 hours after that, it's going to be your earrings collection. Your earring collections needs these. And then 5 days later, if they haven't ordered any products by then, it's going to send the last one. So it's a great offer, and it's basically, just in case you forgot, free earrings are still yours. She's got some lovely offers, I think, for pearl studs that you get if you place an order over a certain amount. So all fantastic emails there. And these are things that you can set up, I think, within an hour. It does take a while to write the emails. Obviously, that's a big one, but email automation is such an important part of your digital marketing that's often overlooked. And if you think about it this way, you're paying money to send people to your website. But what happens if they don't buy? You want to be able to send them a follow-up email. You want to be able to send them, or if they subscribe to a pop-up offer but then don't buy, you want to be able to try to close the deal with a series of emails going out to them to try to get them to make that purchase. It works for service industries as well. You can have pop-ups on your website that if they don't take you up on the offer that you have straight away, you're nurturing them to that free discovery call or to book in a service and go from there. So all of these things can happen for any industry. Emails are a really important part of your digital marketing. So really happy to see that we were able to help Jenny and Pop and Dangle, somebody who has just taken all the learnings from the workshop and applied that and made a 4 times return on her campaign within the first 30 days of launching. Really awesome to see. I thought I'd share it with you all just to share the good news, and also encourage you guys to reach out and book in a free call with me if you haven't done so already. I'd love to help you guys out going forward with the coaching services to be able to make sure that you're on track, that you're getting the results that you are hoping for, and that you've got a chance to run through your work with an expert. It's always helpful to have somebody just look over stuff. To be honest, Jenny's done a lot of this stuff herself, so all I had to do was just go over it with her. Yep, you've done everything right. Let's switch it on, activate the automation, and you're away laughing. Good job, Jenny. Well done. It looks like you're doing such great work, and we're really excited to see the results going forward. For anyone watching, check out popanddangle.com popanddangle.com.au because they are fantastic, and buy some earrings. They're really cool. Let me go to the website. So anyone watching, I highly recommend going to popanddangle.com.au. Check out all of these wonderful handmade jewelry items that Jenny has made and support a local business. Go buy a pair. Buy two, you get one free. So how good is that? Thank you so much, Jenny, for letting me continue to help going forward. And everyone else, thanks so much for watching. Take care.